Picture yourself at 45, looking back at the decisions you made at 27. Not the dramatic ones. Not the lucky breaks. Just the ordinary financial habits you repeated every month. That's usually where wealth is built. Your 20s and 30s aren't just early career years. They are foundation years. And foundations don't look impressive while they're being poured. They're quiet, repetitive, and often unnoticed. A lot of people assume wealth starts when income becomes high enough. But income is only one variable. Behavior is the multiplier. You can earn more and still feel financially fragile. Or you can earn steadily and feel increasingly secure. The difference usually comes down to how quickly lifestyle expands. Here's the pattern that quietly shapes financial futures. When income rises and spending rises just as fast, pressure increases. When income rises and spending rises slowly, stability increases. Pressure means your job has to continue at the same pace just to maintain your life. Stability means your life doesn't collapse if something changes. In your 20s and 30s, one of the most important financial skills is controlling lifestyle inflation. It's natural to upgrade when you get a raise, a better apartment, a newer car, more travel, better restaurants. None of these are wrong. The issue is speed. If every raise instantly reshapes your lifestyle, you never create margin. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you need. That gap is where wealth begins. Without margin, there's nothing to save, nothing to invest, and no buffer for uncertainty. With margin, you start building resilience. Think of two professionals in their early 30s in the US or UK. Similar salaries, similar career paths. One upgrades everything with every raise. Rent increases. Car payments increase. Subscriptions increase. Vacations become more expensive. The income grows, but so do the obligations. The other person increases savings first. When income rises, part of it strengthens the future before improving the present. Housing remains reasonable. Big purchases are delayed until they're comfortable, not stretched. 5 years later, both may look similar on the outside, but internally, one feels pressure and the other feels space. Space to change jobs. Space to handle emergencies. Space to make thoughtful decisions. That space is wealth in its early form. Another overlooked idea. In your 20s and 30s, your biggest asset isn't your investment account. It's your earning capacity. Your skills, adaptability, communication, and reputation will likely influence your lifetime income more than short-term investment decisions. Investing in education, certifications, or skill development can dramatically improve long-term earning power. But higher income only improves your life if your expenses don't expand to consume it. That's why wealth building is less about chasing high returns and more about sequencing decisions correctly. First, build stability. Then, increase income. Then, allow lifestyle to grow slowly. Reversing that order creates stress. Debt is another area where small decisions compound. High interests, consumer debt, especially credit cards, quietly reduces your future flexibility. Each payment commits your future income to past spending. This doesn't mean avoiding all borrowing. It means being careful with fragile structures. Large fixed expenses and high interest debt reduce options. Lower fixed costs and manageable obligations increase options. And options are what wealth ultimately provides. There's also the psychological side of money. In your 20s and 30s, comparison is everywhere. Social media makes lifestyles look effortless. Homes, holidays, celebrations, all visible, rarely. What you don't see are trade-offs, debt, or family support behind the scenes. If you measure success by visible consumption, you'll almost always feel behind. If you measure it by increasing freedom and decreasing stress, you may quietly move ahead. Wealth in early adulthood often looks ordinary. It looks like staying in a reasonable apartment even after a raise. It looks like driving the same car for years. It looks like saying not yet to certain upgrades, not because you can afford them, but because timing matters. Timing reduces risk. Timing protects momentum. Another important principle, wealth building is less about maximizing gains and more about minimizing irreversible mistakes. Overextending on housing, ignoring savings entirely, accumulating expensive debt, failing to build an emergency fund. These mistakes don't always hurt immediately, but over time they create financial fragility. On the other hand, steady saving, long-term investing principles, and reasonable expenses build resilience. Markets fluctuate. Economies shift. There are no guarantees, but consistent behavior improves your odds over decades. Automation helps here. When saving happens automatically, right after payday, it stops relying on willpower. You adapt to what's left. Over time, that consistent surplus becomes meaningful. Compounding works best on money that is regularly invested and left alone. But compounding also works on habits. The earlier you normalize saving and controlled spending, the less effort it requires later. Perhaps the most important shift is identity. Do you see yourself as someone who spends first and saves what's left? Or someone who saves first and spends what's left? That small change in order can define decades. Your 20s and 30s are not about proving success to others. They are about building capacity, the capacity to earn, to save, to invest, and to withstand uncertainty. Capacity turns into confidence. Confidence turns into better decisions. Better decisions, repeated, turn into wealth. Not instantly, not dramatically, but steadily. If you increase your earning ability, control lifestyle growth, avoid destructive debt, and consistently create surplus, you build a financial structure that supports you instead of trapping you. And years from now, the difference won't necessarily show in luxury. It will show in calm. Calm when expenses arise. Calm when opportunities appear. Calm when change becomes necessary. That calm is one of the clearest signs that wealth is forming. Not loud, not flashy, just steady. Subscribe the channel Rickify Doctrine for more information. Thanks for watching.